Hello everyone, welcome to Salesforce Predator. In this channel we discuss about various concepts and technologies. This video is part of JavaScript series. In this video we'll see what are literals in JavaScript, what are variables in JavaScript, how we can do comments in a JavaScript. Okay. So there are two types of values in JavaScript. One is literals and the other one is variables. Literals are nothing but constants or numbers or strings. So these values are assigned to variables. Okay, so let's go to console, and here if I type a particular string, let's say test. Okay, so this is a literal and it's a string literal. Let's say if I type a particular number, so this is a number literal, right? Similarly, we can have arrays and objects. So these are literals. Okay. Then we have variables. Variables are nothing but containers, or you can say placeholders for holding data values. Okay. And in JavaScript, we can declare variables using these three reserved keywords. So we can use either var or let or const to declare a variable. Okay. So we'll see what is significant of using each of them later. Okay. Now we can assign value to variables using equal to operator, both at the time of declaration or any time before using that particular variable. Okay, so if you do not assign any value, then that variable will be having undefined as a default value. Okay. uh, yeah, JavaScript variables are case sensitive. So what does this means is, like, if you have declared two variable test and another variable like with capital T as test, so both are different variables. Okay, so we'll see this in developer console. Okay, then JavaScript variables are loosely typed. Okay, so in JavaScript, like, the typecasting of variable takes place when you assign value to that variable. Okay, so you don't have to specify what kind of value you are assigning. You just have to assign the value to variable and automatically it will typecast the variable. Okay, so just for your demo purpose, I'll go here and let's say we need to declare a variable, right? So where test. Okay, so test is a name of variable, and let's say if I don't assign a value to this variable, so what will happen? If I check the value for test, it will show it as undefined. Remember, in the previous video we have already seen that whenever a variable is created, or we can say whenever a variable is declared, so it is assigned value undefined during the creation of execution context. Okay, so let's say if you want to assign value to variable, okay, so what you can do is where test equal to 10. Okay, now if you click on enter and check the value of test variable, you can see value as 10. Okay, so you can see here the value for test variable is 10, right? Similarly, you can also assign value to variable after declaration. So let's say where test1 is our variable now, and we have not assigned value to it now what we can do is we can assign the value to this variable after declaration also. So let's say 20 and click on this, so the value assigned to test1 is 20. Okay, now we saw that JavaScript variables are case sensitive. So what does this means is, like, test1 I have already declared, right? So if I try to get the value of test1, not small, here if I specify capital T test1 and click enter, so it will give me error that test1 is not defined. Why? We have defined test1, right? But the this variable is having ts capital, so it is case sensitive. Okay, so you have to declare test1 separately and then it will work. Okay, also we saw that JavaScript variables are loosely typed. So what does this means is, let's say we clear this we create a variable, let's say student equal to 10. Okay, and if I click on enter, so we have assigned value, numeric value 10 to student variable, right? So what will be the data type of student? Let's check it. So we can use type of operator, and this operator in JavaScript is used to get the data type of operand on which it is working. Okay, so let's say we have student here, right? And if I click on enter, you can see the data type of student is number. So automatically JavaScript engine will typecast this variable into a number data type. Okay, now let's say if I change the value. Okay, so if I change the value of student as, let's say we name it as Ajay. Okay, if I click on enter, now we have assigned new value to student, right? So if I use type of operator again on student and click on enter, you can see the data type of this variable student is changed to string. Okay, so that's how JavaScript automatically casts the variable based on the value to which it is assigned. Okay, that's why we say JavaScript variables are loosely typed, and JavaScript is a loosely typed language. Okay, now what is the syntax of declaring a variable? So we already saw we can either declare a variable, and we can also declare and assign value to variable in a single sentence. Okay, there are certain rules for naming the variables. So the variable names can contain letters, it can contain digits, then underscore and dollar sign also. Okay, there is no limit to the length of variable name. Okay, so you can name anything. Like if you can see my screen, you can declare the variable, and the length of variable can be anything. Okay, so this will work. Names can begin with letter, dollar, or underscore sign. Okay, and we cannot use reserve word as a variable names. So what does this means is, like there are certain reserved words like where, const, let, right? So those are reserved words, and you cannot use those words to name your variable. So let's say if I try to construct a variable with name const. Okay, and if I click on enter, so it will give me an error that unexpected token const. Similarly, if you try with, let's say, for, so it will give us error because these are reserved keywords and we cannot use it to declare our variable's name. Okay, so next is comments in JavaScript. So we can have either single line comments in JavaScript using those two forward slash, or we can have multi-line comments also. Okay, so let's say we'll clear this console. We can add a single comment like this, and single line comment, right? And after that we can write our program. Okay, so we can use shift enter, and let's say we want to create a variable. So this way we can add single line comment. If you want to add multi-line comment, so the syntax is like this. And closing of comment. Okay, so this is how you can add multi-line comment also. So we'll go to our presentation. Okay, so in this video we have discussed how we can create variables and what are literals in JavaScript, and also how we can add single and multi-line comments in JavaScript. So if you have any questions, you can write it down in the comment section, and do not forget to subscribe this channel. Thank you.